All right. So, question for y'all. What are you doing right now to capitalize on AI technology? So, I've thought about this a lot. I'm driving right now, and I'm trying to basically figure out what is the best way and use of artificial intelligence to maximize profits and to maximize or actually minimize the amount of time that I'm actually spending in real estate actually doing it and maximizing the profit or the outcome of it. And so, like, if you think about like the spectrum of stuff, so like if you're a brand new real estate investor, like, how are you going to go get started? Well, you're going to go try to mentor under somebody. I mean, that's what I did. Maybe you're going to go buy a course. You're going to go find somebody that's going to be willing to take you under their arms, under their wings, under their protection, and just basically show you like the ropes. Like, hey, this is how you do real estate. And then when you figure that out, you're like, okay, I'm going to stop doing all of these menial tasks that I was doing for them, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to go find someone to do it for me. And so basically, you're going to outsource that to someone else. You're going to try to basically find somebody to be your labor source. Hey, I'm going to teach you how to go drive for dollars, or I'm going to teach you how to go pull public records, or I'm going to teach you how to do, cold call certain lists, or whatever it may be. And then you give them a cut of the transaction, or however you want to do it, however you structure it. And then what happens is you're like, oh, I want to minimize my costs, my overhead, so I can maximize my profit. I don't want to necessarily do more deals. So there's many different ways to grow your company, right? You can multiply your workforce, bring in more deals that way. You can increase your marketing, bring in more deals that way. Or you can do the same amount of deals that you're doing right now, but then decrease your overhead costs. So let's say that if you're paying a percentage of the deal for someone to go out and do it because they're doing a lot of the work for you. Let's say you're like, I don't want to pay them a percentage. I want to just give them a flat fee for it. So then you hire somebody and you have them do that. You can also hire like an assistant, like a VA, like a virtual assistant, and you have them doing that. And now of course, you have to know what you're doing. You have to have KPIs. You have to have standard operating procedures. Like, okay, this is what I need you to do. These are all the tasks I want you to do. So you basically have to have some kind of structure in your business. And let's face it, most guys in this business don't have that kind of structure. They just kind of fly the seat of their pants. Like, oh, I'm gonna go drive for dollars today, and maybe I'm gonna see a deal. I'm gonna chase it down on the MLS, or I'm gonna go on Zillow, or whatever it is, and then I'm just gonna find something and just they're random. There's no predictability. They're all over the place. But let's say that you do have some kind of predictability in your business, and it actually is a business. It's not just a hobby. You're actually performing consistently at a high level. You're getting, it doesn't have to be like, you're not closing like maybe 10 deals a month. Maybe you could close in 2 or 3 consistently, or you're closing, 5 or 7, or whatever it is that is for you, it's consistent. And week on and week out, what you're doing, what needs to happen in order to provide that sense of security in your income. So you have a VA, but now what happens? So basically it starts with you becoming the workforce, training the workforce, hiring somebody else out, hiring somebody cheaper out, like a VA, and now we have this AI intelligence, artificial intelligence, and it's like, wow, there is a lot that can be done with artificial intelligence. This is so crazy to me. So here I am in California, and ChatGPT. I logged on to do it yesterday, and I'm like, how to do a subject to transaction in California. I'm just curious, because I do a lot of seller financing, a lot of subject to purchases and sales, or I seller finance my subject to purchases to other homeowners that want to become, rent-to-own buyers, basically. And so I'm curious. I'm like, oh, let's see how this works. Man, did it know everything. It was like, okay, here's how you do X, Y, Z, and I just listed it all out. I'm like, shit, you know what? Like, these guys that are selling their courses, like, of course, I sell my course and stuff like that as well. If you ever wanted to get it, find the links in here. And I was like, damn, there it is, right there. Like it's all the steps, and it's no secret. Like, obviously, it's find a seller that's in distress. I was willing to let you take over the payments, and so anyway, like, it's all broken down, and I'm like, wow, like it's right there. And so I have a house that I wanted to sell, and so I decided, I'm gonna use ChatGPT to basically come up with a listing. So I said, sell this house at this address, or write a description selling this house. And sure enough, it goes through the entire ad and pinpoints like open floor plan, nice ad. You can read. It looks at the images. You can say, nice landscaping, new this, new that, granite countertops. All of that is included in the ad. And I was just like blown away by that. I was like, damn, this is incredible. So a lot of the little menial tasks that used to take, I use templates and stuff like that, but I basically just created a brand new template for myself because of AI. And I started thinking, I'm like, how else can I use this AI to basically shortcut processes for me? Where, I've had to, in the past, there's been certain lists that are very, very highly profitable for me, but highly labor intensive. Like, it requires a lot of research in order to do these particular tasks. And we've had a VA do these tasks over the course of many years for us. And now I've thought about this. I'm like, what if I can get AI to create some kind of, it's basically a program is what it really is, to go ahead and cut down on my labor force here and just maximize the profit on these particular deals. And so, the future of AI, it's coming. And now here's the reality too. So, you look at like iBuyers and all of this stuff, and they got their asses handed to them. They just went in and they just flooded the market, overpurchased, didn't do due diligence at all. They just were like, the market's going up, we're just gonna buy all these houses and turn around, we're gonna sell them for profit. And it just bit them in the ass. However, what I think a lot of people are overlooking is the pioneers always get the arrows in the back. Like, that's just what happens. However, they just paved the way and they proved like what did not work. They basically gave a recipe of, hey, this is not how you do this. There are other ways to do it. So there's a lot, it's a very painful experience as far as market data goes, but the market data is there. And they got a lot of, data feedback of what didn't work, which doesn't mean that it can't work in the future. And here's my prediction is, like, with this new technology, understanding like how things work, I think my prediction is that AI is going to replace, in the future, I don't know exactly when, but it's going to replace the agent, the need for a real estate agent. It's going to also replace the need for an investor. There are going to be companies that are going to have deep pockets that are going to be able to create basically a bot, if you will, AI, to negotiate with somebody to buy their house. And then as long as it fits the parameters and they go and they do their search, and maybe they don't even have to do a search. Maybe they have a portal where they just upload their pictures and they do a video walkthrough of the house, and they're like, okay, yeah, that sounds great, I'm gonna purchase your property. It's going this direction where, the bootstrap real estate investor is not going to just be like driving for dollars. I'm going to go knock on that door and just hope that they're home at the day that I need them to be there because I'm knocking on their door. Like, this is the reality. Like, so when I got started in this business in 2014, there was a lot of randomness, and with that randomness comes unpredictability. And so, you're randomly driving for dollars, you're randomly mailing out postcards, you're doing all these things that are very random, and they were very profitable for me as well, which is why I'm still in the business. However, as things have evolved and people have become less and less, accustomed to actually like communicating with people, answering their phones, returning text messages, answering their doors even. Now you run into, okay, how can I make this less personal but still provide the service of value? And this is where AI is taking off. People do not want to be interrupted. They do not want to be, they don't want to talk to people. They just want solutions. They want their problem solved. And if a computer can do it, fine, they're going to do it. Like, I think there's this myth and there's this belief, but like, oh, I come with compassion. Oh, I come with my enthusiasm. Oh, I come with my personality. And people like me because they're going to sell me their house because I'm a cool person. I'm friendly. I'm kind. Like, no, that's bullshit. Like, that's a story that you're telling yourself. That's a lie. That's not the truth. The truth of the matter is who can solve the problem the fastest in the most economical way and give them the most amount of money. That's the reality. That's the bottom line. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote my book. Like, trouble selling your house. Like, really? Like, you're having trouble selling your house? Here's my book. Go ahead and read it. If you get stuck and you want to sell me your house, yeah, I'll buy it from you. Or my other book, Defending Yourself from Foreclosure. I'll go and I'll knock on the door and say, hey, look, I'm not here to buy your house. I'm actually just here to help you. I lost my house in 2010. And if this book can help you, I wish I would have had someone knock on my door and give it to me. But if it can help you, fantastic. People are looking for information and solutions, right? And I'm trying to think like, okay, rather than me going and knocking on every single door that's in pre-foreclosure, at one point I had an ad campaign that I was trying to geo-target different houses that were in pre-foreclosure, but then Facebook has some stupid thing with their ads where they said, oh, this is a violation of fair housing because now you're targeting, and it's like, it's redlining and all this stuff. I'm like, fucking, I'm helping these people, man. What are you talking about? Like, they're going through foreclosure. Anyway, so because you can actually match the IP address to their property address. This is what we were doing, and it didn't last very long. But anyway, I'm trying to think here, like, okay, how can I use the technology to basically, you know, give them an ebook, or like what chapter, like if the book knows, like, hey, what is your problem? And the book has like all these different, like, is this your problem? Is this your problem? Is this your problem? Like these are the chapters to go to. If someone's like, hey, this is my problem right now, like it might not be like, oh, hey, I fell behind because I lost my job. It's like, oh, I'm getting a divorce, or oh, you know, I applied for a deferment and I couldn't pay it back all in time, or the banks are they're screwing with me. They're not allowing me to do a loan modification, or whatever it is. It can pinpoint the chapter that's like, oh, read this chapter. This will help you. And then if you want more information, let us know. Reach out to our company. And I'm trying to think, like, how can I maximize like the use of AI to do this in a very economical way and still have it be impactful and, like, you know, hit the masses. So it's like, how are you using AI? I'm curious, because I know there are guys out there, they have these chat bots that you can, like, you know, land on their website and like, hey, how you doing? You want to buy your house? Oh, hey, I'm doing fine. And that's one way of using it. Like I said, I use Chat GPT to write ads for me. I also do it for research. Like, I can find the demographics of what's selling and what's not selling, who is actually buying, which is really interesting, because they have data. They have a lot of data. I was able to find that Hispanics are buying the majority of the properties right now in and around my local market. I'm like, well, fuck, that's how I need to be marketing to. I didn't know that. I had to type that in, and the research came back that was the actual demographics. Now, I don't know how recent that is, but it says, you know, based on certain pollings and stuff like that, this is what's happening. And I'm like, well, that's fascinating research for me to know that, oh, I need to go after my Hispanic community, porque yo hablo español también. Y si hablo español, ya puedo comunicarme con las personas que hablan español. So, like, I'm like, okay, because we have one house right now that's kind of just been sitting on the market, and we're just like, man, of course, interest rates have risen from, like, you know, 6%, like we're over 7.5% right now. And knowing that, I was like, okay, how can I go to the Hispanic community? And I know from experience that with some of my seller finance homes that, and this is the house we're selling retail, we flipped it, is that the Hispanic community definitely, I think a lot of people actually, I don't want to just, like, you know, pinpoint, like, that's a real stereotypical, like, oh, they're like rate sensitive. I think everyone's rate sensitive. And so I'm like, shit, I can buy down an interest rate from 7.5% to 5.9% for $10,000. So rather than taking the price of the house and dropping it from, you know, 145 to 135 and seeing if someone bites with a $10,000 reduction, I'm just going to offer them, you know, 5.9% interest rate. I mean, you're going to take someone's payment from, I don't know, I'm not doing the math off the top of my head, but maybe that saves someone like $200 or $300 a month in monthly payments because the interest rate's like so drastic. So, I mean, if that's the case, then, I mean, let's get the house sold. And I need to advertise that to, you know, Spanish-speaking loan officers or realtors or whatever, and just put that out there, of course, in the MLS notes too. So anyway, I'm curious, what are you doing? Go ahead and comment below. Tell me, what are you doing to use AI to grow your business? I'm fascinated by this. I want to actually know. My prediction, like I said, is I think that real estate investors and real estate agents in general are going to become obsolete in the next, you know, 10, maybe even sooner. But I think NAR is a huge, National Association of Realtors is a huge lobbying component, but I think that they're not going to be able to compete with the technology, with the change in technology. I think in the next 10 to 15 years, you're going to have agents either take a huge hit in commissions or be replaced by technology that is more efficient and answers their phone. How many times do you call a real estate agent and they just never answer their phone? Yeah, that's a big one right there. So anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. Just remember, you're just one deal away from changing your entire financial future. Thanks for tuning in and checking out Bootstrap REI. Now, where's that damn stop button?